Well, hello. Welcome to the live stream. So I'm testing my portable setup here. So we're just using hotel Wi-Fi. So we'll see how well this works out here. But I'm using my OC GoStream Duet kit, which is a all-in-one production kit. And let's see if I can do this sequence right. Let's see, we want to turn that on. And yeah, let's see. Look at that. We even have lower thirds. So fancy. Yeah, this is me just testing this kit. I've got my Fuji X-H2 camera as my main camera. I've got a little Elgato key light over here, and then the portable unit. I'll kind of show that off here in a second. But yeah, so I'm using the built-in streaming encoder on the OC. It's set to high as far as the encoding quality, which seems to be doing a pretty good job here. This is a 1080p only device, so it's going to be kind of limited there. You can't do 4K or anything like that. But yeah, and then I've just got the DJI mini mics here, and that's just plugged into a receiver on top of the camera. So yeah, let's see here if I take lower third off there. This device is really cool because it's got a bunch of built-in things. You can take in 4 sources. This can be SDI or HDMI, which is really nice. So I'm doing everything HDMI in this setup. And then you've also got an aux, and that aux can be used, the auxiliary channel can be used for video playback, NDI, or a USB webcam. So that's a really nice setup to have. So you got 3 different options there on the aux. So let me get that set up here. Let's see, I can bring in a webcam into that aux. So if I, let's see, go to aux, turn that off. That way we don't get any feedback loop. And let's see here, settings. Source selection, there it is. I'll set that to USB webcam. So let's see, let me put that over in preview. Wow, my white balance is really off here on the Osmo. Let me just correct for that here. So if we cut over here to aux, let me make sure there's nothing here. Yeah, so here is the OC GoStream. There's the multi-view. So this is a built-in monitor here, which is really nice. And then I've just got my laptop over here off to the side to monitor the chat and everything. And then we've got the camera over there, and then my little Elgato key light right over there. Let's see, there's a little bit of a hiss on the audio. That could be because I'm also charging my laptop and I'm using a dummy battery in the camera. So that could be causing like a ground loop kind of problem, potentially. Yeah, the tripod, so I had a much smaller tripod than this that would sit like kind of right here on the desk, but I ended up changing that out just because it didn't feel super sturdy. So I ended up just doing a much stronger tripod. I had my full tripod in the back of my car, so I was like, well, let me just use that. But yeah, so this device here is really nice. I like that it's all built in, and then this spot right down here can be where you can power it off of a battery, which is really nice. So you can just plug in a portable battery and power it all, and then you can also connect, like I've got an SD card down in here right now, but you can also hook up like an external USB-C SSD to record to or play back from. And then it's got the fan, which is really nice to keep it cool, power button to turn power on and off, and then it's got a fader bar, which is real nice. So you can actually do a transition. And I see my lower third it came on. There we go. We just turn that off and turn that to there. Yeah, they totally copied a lot of the ATEM's homework when it comes to this switcher. I will say that. Inside there, you'll find in like the XML, you'll see hyperdeck presets. I'm like, I've seen those presets before. So they definitely did a lot of copying from Blackmagic Design. And then, yeah, of course, you can also do like super sources. So here's what a super source would look like. Not as customizable as ATEM. So you only get like these layouts, like I'm showing here, where you have this layout, a side-by-side like box layout. Let me see if I can pull that one up. Let's see. Yeah, there's a limited like preset in super sources. Yeah, and the layout isn't lined up, and there's no way to adjust that. So you're kind of just stuck with what they got. I can take the Y position and go up and down if I had like a lower third or something. But yeah, they did not line up the sources, and there's no way to like fix that, which kind of sucks. Yeah, so here's like the different options on SuperSource. And then I'll set it back here. Yeah, it's not a perfect device, but you know, it's cheaper than if you bought all the pieces individually to do this with like an ATEM. There's like a lot of like companies out there that make cases similar to this for the ATEM Mini lineup. But I think as far as compactness goes, this is as compact as it's going to get. And Ryan, yes, we do need to do that 4K video game stream in HDR if YouTube can support that. The OC, this kit is first party, direct from OC. So yeah, this is fully made by them. So that was really nice to have a all-in-one kit. So yeah, currently up here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, getting set up for the steeplechase. So we pulled a bunch of fiber optic cabling today, got all that set up, got our power for our production trailer, and got all that powered up, got our graphics loaded in, and then we started patching audio. We're gonna finish patching up audio tomorrow, and I think we've got like maybe one camera left to like fully check and make sure everything's working on it. And then we just got to hook up all the different televisions and jumbo like LED screens. But those kind of come in later in the week. So we're kind of waiting for those to come in. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty busy production week, but we're way ahead of schedule, which is really nice. So hopefully the weather will hold out. Weather is the biggest factor. If it rains, that can really mess us up as far as getting everything all set up and ready to go. So hopefully that will hold off. I've been taking my Osmo camera here and capturing like little video clips here and there. So maybe I can make some sort of video content around that. So that'll be fun. Yeah. And then I determined that I need to get one of those travel routers. I'm currently using my Netgear hotspot device, which is on the T-Mobile network. And I mean, it seems to be doing pretty well with this live stream, but definitely need some sort of travel router that can properly connect to the hotel Wi-Fi, and maybe even some sort of like bonded cellular type solution. But I mean, seems to be holding up pretty well here. Yeah. The NDI feed on this is also limited. If you do use the NDI function, it only supports HX, so it has to be compressed NDI, and it has to be 1920 by 1080, so you cannot output anything but that, or else it will not pick up the NDI. see. Unify Mobile Ultra Router thing. Yeah, their naming convention for Unify products is getting a little crazy. I saw that they released a siren today, which I guess is going to be a part of their alarm, like building security system that they're kind of rolling out. It's a PoE powered, so I guess nowadays you just run a network cable everywhere, and that's going to power everything in our homes. I guess DC is making a comeback. We thought that AC won the homes, but apparently PoE power is going to take over our homes with USB-C. Yes, yeah, having the AI announcements on the speakers is really cool. Yes, Edison would be very happy. But yeah, figured I'd just give this a little shot here. It's got auto mixing capabilities too, so you could do kind of like what we were doing with the ATEM, where you can mix in the sources based on who's talking and things like that. Let's see here. Can I pull up the... Got my laptop coming in here. Let me see if I can... Which screen is this? There it is. External control. Yes, there is a companion module for the OC. So you can totally hook it up with companion and control everything, which is really cool. It's like super... I'm glad they opened it up. I know Rode is working on like catching up to that with the Rodecaster video. Let's see, can we pull up UI? Make sure I don't have anything logged in over here. Yeah, so this AI speaker, I mean, we got to try this thing out. I mean, yeah, that's crazy. It's just a single Ethernet cable. Let's see, what else did they announce today? Their next generation PTZ cams. That's pretty cool. So now they got the precision, the industrial, G5 and G6. So I guess these just have more zoom capabilities. Yes. And 4K. Yeah, they're really pushing into it. And I like that they're like all local. Yeah, I think this could be heavily used at the studio, mounted in the back and up towards like the loft area. I think that would be a good spot to have one of these set up. They still make this like super tiny camera, which is really fun. I don't know who all... I feel like the Hunter Art Museum would have something like this, like kind of hidden away. It's so tiny. And now they're apparently selling like door closer hardware, which would have been cool. Yeah, here it is, the door closer. I feel like this could have been better. Like they could have integrated some sort of like door switch into it that would have integrated better, because it's kind of like I can just go buy this somewhere. I'm sure they sell this like pretty standard. Yeah, why did they not put a Ethernet port on the door closer? But they've got a pretty good product line going right now. Unify has done a good job. But yeah, motorized could open on demand. That's true. Yeah, they missed out on an opportunity there. Let's see. Yeah, okay, well, let me go check YouTube Studio here. See how YouTube is dealing with this live stream. It says the stream is healthy. It's not seeing any bit rate drop. So it looks like this is a constant bit rate, which is nice. Tail 2 for this setup. Nice. Ryan, are you talking about for the portable setup you're building, you're using a OBS bot? That's cool. Yeah, I still want to try and get my hands on one of those and play with it because of its native Unreal Engine integration. Yeah, let's see. Discord. There you are. Oh, nice. Here, let me see if I can pull these images down. Oops. Let me just figure out how to work macOS. Here we go. Yeah, that looks real nice there, Ryan. So I see you got the light, a mic, the OBS bot, and then the monitor there. What's the panel light? Amaran. Okay, yeah. Amaran makes some really good stuff. Yeah, that's nice that it's built right into the lid there. And then it's got a tripod I see in there. And then are you doing this? Okay, Mac Mini. Yep, Mac Mini under the curtain. And then you've got, I assume, some sort of jump desktop or remote desktop that you're working into that. Yep, that's really nice. And then I assume, are you putting in any sort of mobile, you mentioned the mobile data solution. Are you putting in a router, like a mobile hotspot, or are you expecting them to connect to the internet? Yeah, I think the hotspot's a good way to go. Man, I am really impressed with this hotel Wi-Fi. It's doing really well. Yeah, yeah, that's smart. Yeah, it's pretty crazy how there's all those. I mean, now I guess there's underwater fiber optic cabling from Australia to different parts of the world for you, Ryan. But I imagine back in the day it was all either satellite or, I don't know, maybe a radio link to a nearby island. I don't think there's anything close by though. So it's got to all be fiber optic cabling now for internet. Yeah. Curious if I hear the noise over here. Not really. I think it is probably a ground looping problem. Oh dear, I'm getting all tangled up over here. There we go. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet evening. We had a nice crew dinner. We had some good hibachi dinner at a restaurant that's like super close to the hotel, so we're like super close to everything, being able to walk. It's just been really nice here. It's funny though, it's an hour time difference here, and so like here it's only like 8:26, but like I was like, where is all this traffic coming from when we were coming back? And then I was like, oh yeah, everybody's getting off work. But in my brain it was like 6 or 6:30, back home. I'm like, why is there traffic? I have considered getting something like the Magewell Director Mini or like the YOLO box or something like that. Or doing something with the ability to bring in a remote guest. I could almost do it with this setup. If I had my Rodecaster Duo, I could do the proper mix minus to make the remote guest functionality work with this setup. Maybe, but I think Zoom ISO sends the full NDI, and this will only do NDI HX. That's the limitation. They made a bigger one that's like an 8 input, but the previews are not real time. And I feel like the previews would really mess me up. Like I like having a full frame rate preview. Like that's super nice to have. Yeah, I would probably just output from my laptop. Yeah, YOLO Box is just an Android device. Out of all of them, not that one, but Magewell and the OBS Talent, I think, are the exact same device, which is really funny to me. They just branded it differently. Yeah, loop back so you can hear. Yeah, that would work. The only thing is I can't. Okay, I can see. So I guess as long as it's solid red on the stream, it's fine. I do want to try multi-streaming. I feel like that's where this would fall apart, because it has it can go to 3 destinations, but I know that it's going to need whatever bandwidth it's sending now times 3. I'm also not recording. I'm just letting YouTube record. Same encoder. It has 2 encoders. Same encoder for the streams, so you can't do any format change on that. But your record quality and your stream quality on this OC device can be independent. So I can have like a higher quality record, lower quality stream. So in that case, it does have the 2 encoders. No web graphics. I feel like that's becoming real popular now, is to use web overlays for graphics. HTML graphic tools are getting really, really popular. Well, this has been going for a solid 30 minutes and still holding up. Pretty good. I can feel the Fuji hunting a little bit for focus. I hear it. This is also on the ultra low latency setting on YouTube, which is nice. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up this test. It seems to be doing exactly how I expected it to be. So it's behaving really well. I think I would use this on a production, especially if I had bonded internet. Yeah, let's stay in touch, Ryan, and yeah, we'll chat soon. All right. See if I can wrap this up. So we'll take that off and see ya.